I'm live.
So people can chat with you. So, Dad,
Yeah.
we're going to answer some questions that people have been asking you on your Facebook, your Twitter, and your Instagram.
Okay.
So the first one we're going to ask is off of Twitter. It's a lady named Sue Ninus, and she asks, is there a way to move a tree from Ancestry back to FamilySearch?
Is there a way to move a tree from Ancestry back to FamilySearch? Mm-hmm. If you're a member of the LDS Church, then you get a free account on Ancestry.com. And when you do, you can log into Ancestry. You can use an existing account, but once you've hooked up that account between FamilySearch and Ancestry, then whenever you go to a person in your tree on Ancestry, you'll see a little FamilySearch icon up in the top right-hand corner. If you click that, that will allow you to synchronize information from that person over to the matching person in FamilySearch. They'll first have you match up the two so you know which one is in Family Tree versus Ancestry, and then from then on you can copy it that way. Now, if you're not a member of the church, or you're not interested in going through that matching process, then what I would recommend is to download, go get Roots Magic. They have a free version.
Okay.
And import, take an export of your Ancestry tree, like a JegCom file, load it up into Roots Magic, and then from Roots Magic you can log into FamilySearch, and it will actually go out and find matching people and hook them all up for you. And then from Roots Magic, then you can synchronize information back and forth. So there's two ways. One is right in Ancestry, but that's only for members who have a hooked account.
Okay.
The other is a way for people that don't want to do that or are not members of the church. Yeah.
All right, so hopefully that helps Sue out from Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Our next question is from Instagram. It's from an account called Researching My Family Tree.
Oh, by the way, on that last question, I probably should say Ancestral Quest, Legacy, and a few others have free versions and do the same thing.
Oh,
so
cool.
Pick whatever you feel most comfortable with in that.
Whatever system works for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is from Researching My Family Tree on Instagram, and they say, when I'm watching an Ancestry and I see one users of Family Tree are watching this person, if you change this information, these users will be notified. Does that one person include me? Am I the only watcher? Or does it mean that there is other watchers besides me watching that Ancestry?
Well, right now it means that you're the only watcher. If there's only one person watching, then that's just you. Sorry. We didn't take the time to subtract one and say 0 people are watching. So
all right.
It does include you.
Oh, dang it. No stalking syndrome there, huh?
No.
All right. So let's head over to Facebook. So you recently attended Roots Tech.
Yeah, still trying to recover on this one. I went to work today and my eyes were sagging and I kept wanting to fall asleep. Everything aches.
Everything aches.
Yeah, we went to Roots Tech. My busiest day, I looked at my stuff on my iPhone, my health thing, and it said I had gone about 5 3/4 miles and 5 floors of hiking around.
Oh my goodness.
So the toesies were a little achy and
toes are still sore, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so one of the questions they have, it comes from a lady named Lila Jones.
Okay.
And she wants to know, why can't you remove duplicates in relationships without losing the memories and the documents?
Why can't you do what with memories?
Remove duplicates in relationships without losing memory and documents.
I don't know if I understand the question. Yeah. Okay, so I'm assuming that what it means is, read that to me one more time.
Okay, she says, why can't you remove duplicates in relationships without losing memory and documents?
Yeah, okay. Well, if you're talking about just removing a relationship, then that will lose memories on the person you left, you disconnected.
The person I left behind.
But memories, if you do merging of people, then the memories automatically come on the survivor person. Okay. So if you have duplicates like 2 spouses or the same wife or the same parents or the same children, and both of them have memories on them, then when you merge those 2 together, then the memories will appear, the combination of all the memories will appear in the resulting person. So that should be the case. and that should work. If not, you have to let me know.
All right. And how would somebody let you know if they have a problem?
Well, as I say to everybody in every presentation I ever go to, I give them my email address. My address is ron@familysearch.org. Everyone's be willing to do that. I get lots of email every day, as you can imagine. And, I'm not there. I'm not support. I don't do support, so I'm not going to answer it right away, but I will get to everything. But I get several hundred emails every day, so it may take me a while to get to. If you're in a hurry, you can always call support, and they can help you with anything.
Okay. So, sorry, I'm trying to load Facebook.
It's all right.
It's being mean to me. So.
I hope everybody had a good time at Roots Tech. I didn't get to see many of the... I got to see a couple of the beginning events. I didn't get to go to any classes of my own.
No, darn it.
Because I was too busy doing other things. But it looked like everybody was having a good time. And there was plenty of people there. And I know several of my people that I work with or work for me said it was really busy at the booths. And they taught a bunch of classes and it seemed like everybody was doing okay. So it would be great if maybe if you're interested in, if you didn't find classes that you think would be useful for you, then I think it would be fine to post what kind of classes you wish you could have found, how to do this or how to do that or whatever, and then I can pass that on to the folks who run the Roots Tech.
So post it on Facebook and let us know what classes you'd like to see next year at Roots Tech. Because you are able to pull a little influence.
Well, I don't know how much influence I have, but I can certainly pass it on to the people that do it and make sure that they get the message.
Hi.
Oh, there's a grandkid coming by.
We got a grandkid coming in.
Where's the grandkid support?
We got grandkid support coming right here.
There you go.
Sorry, sweet babes. Okay, so I did find one more question from Paul Crespo.
Okay.
They want to know why you only allow 1,000 records. I'm assuming being attached to a person because they say to any parent today they take more than 1,000 pictures during the first month of life with their child. Yes,
well, we had to choose a limit. We don't limit how many memories you can upload and we can preserve, but we do limit the number of memories on a person, on a single individual. And the reason we do that is because we just don't want these individuals to grow too large that it causes the system to slow down. We want to have good performance. Plus, you need to think about why you're putting memories on a particular person. If you really should be thinking about, I'm putting things on there for future generations. It would be useful for future generations. And, you don't want to have a daily picture of a baby every day to see how they're changing. That's not something that somebody's going to truly want to look at 100 years from now or 50 years from now, your great-great-grandchildren. So there's, in 4 generations, you are forgotten. Nobody has any knowledge of you.
Okay.
So what you need to think about is these, if it's living people or even people that are already dead, you want to think about the most important memories, the most important photos, the stories that stand the test of time, those kind of things. That's what you want to put on a person. And to be honest, we tried to figure out how we came up with 1,000. Well, I went and talked to somebody that had 12 kids. And I asked him, is 1,000 pictures on one of your kids? And he says, well, let's see, if I take one each year for school and, a couple for vacations or whatever that was particularly meaningful, then he felt like it would easily be within 1,000 for one person. Okay. So it's not... I also want to make sure it's not that you can't have more than 1,000 memories in the gallery, in the memory. You can have any number there. You can only hook 1,000 pictures on, each ancestor.
Okay.
So let's not get confused with which one it is.
All right. Cool. So if anybody's watching, does anybody have any questions that's watching right now? You'll be able to see them come up on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
If anybody has anything.
Well, no questions yet. Somebody liked it. Liked and stuff.
Well, that's good.
Could be the son, because he's the only one that joined.
You see. No, it's showing that you have 5 people watching right now. So I guess another thing that we can ask people that are watching or are going to be watching us later, we're considering doing this more often.
Yeah, is that something you'd be interested in? We were thinking about maybe doing a Q&A, maybe, I don't know, we'd have to pick a time, maybe once a month or every couple of weeks, something like that. We haven't decided. But we want to answer what things you're interested in. So we would like to hear your feedback on whether that would be interesting. We're thinking about asking for questions, and then they can be any kind, easy, hard, whatever you want. And then, we'd go and meet at the office or whatever, and I'd write on the whiteboard if I need to explain exactly how to answer the questions you have. So let us know if that's something you'd be interested in. The more people that are interested in it, the better, because then we get that knowledge out there. And I'm interested in making sure that people understand how Family Tree works and why it does what it does and what it can do for you.
Yeah, I know that one of your biggest motivators, I guess, in working with Family Tree and Family Searches.
My connection is weak.
It'll come back. Is that you want to spread the knowledge of Family Tree, right? You want to have as many users as humanly possible on the tree and using the tree and being in it. So we would like to encourage anybody and everybody who can use the tree or not, even if they're not LDS or LDS.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We want everybody on the tree, and the goal with these videos is to use your knowledge to help benefit other people who are going to be using those trees.
Right.
So
help people feel comfortable working in there, working with others, making the corrections they want to make.
Right. And we know that sometimes those the history libraries where they can get help aren't maybe readily accessible, so maybe this can be an option where we can give them answers to those more complicated questions where we can draw them out on a whiteboard.
The answers will be videoed, so they would be able to come back in the future and look for that.
Awesome. Okay, well, any final parting thoughts for today's live video?
I hope that you have a good time at Roots Tech. I hope that you be sure and tell your friends and associates where to find this video and the other live videos we did at Roots Tech if they're interested in learning some of the features that we're doing. I think, did you do the Get Starting class yet?
We did. So yesterday, if you scroll down a little bit, we uploaded. We weren't able to do a live feed. The internet connection was a little weak for us. But we did upload the Getting Started Q&A questions. So that's for beginners, people that are just getting started with Family Search, need a little extra information to kind of know what they're doing. But we did upload it last night, so go ahead and take a peek at that if you have any questions. If that doesn't answer your questions, please ask us so that we can help continue to make these live videos and help people grow. And then we gave your What's New in 2017 was live recorded. That's also on the Facebook page. You can scroll down and see that as well. Right.
So if people ask you, tell your friends and neighbors and associates so that they can see.
Definitely. And then they can also find you on Instagram. You're known as Family History Ron over at Instagram. We post content daily to let you know little snippets and tidbits on how to use the tree or what's happening in Family Search, or a little bit into Ron's life. I know we all like to be nosy Nellies. So.
Yeah. So there was a question
there is one question. It's from Dana Cindy Hendrickson. I'm sure I'm slaughtering this. I am so sorry. So she said, when I'm adding a person to the tree, possible duplicates come up. They are never near a match, 100+ years off for the birth date, but it's not until the person is created and I try to reserve an ordinance work that the person will come up from a christening. Is there a better way?
Yeah, see, let me explain about our possible duplicates.
Okay.
So the way possible duplicate works is we try to find 5 points of commonality between the person you're entering and the people in the tree. We are a little bit stingy on what are possible duplicates, because we know that there are some people out there that as soon as they see the duplicate, they'll just automatically merge them together. And we don't want them to merge people together that aren't a good quality match. So normally, when the problem occurs is that when you add a person, we're only asking for very little information. We're only asking for name, the sex of the person, and dead or alive.
Okay.
And you can enter a death date there. And since that's not very much information, that'll have a tendency to find lots of matches. And so when you first initial it in, you can find ones that don't feel like it's a very close match, because we only have we only have 3 points, name, gender, and whether they're and dead.
That's very limited information to
Right.
find a match.
So there could be a lot of people that have close, similar names and are dead.
Right.
That are male or female.
Right.
And so that's why you get a lot. And then you notice that once you put it in a family, once you put a family around it, or because you're adding a child or you're adding a spouse, then once that's been added to the tree, now better possible duplicates and maybe the more exact possible duplicates start appearing because now you have relationships. So this would be somebody that's married to Mary, that's had a Joseph as a son, and Harvey as a father. And so that helps the matching improve and you get better. Now, that's really what's going on. And so you have to expect that at the beginning you may not find somebody really great. Once you get in, it'll start matching better. Our goal, of course, is to prevent people having to enter in information that's already there.
Right.
We are working on a new enhanced hinting system or possible duplicate system.
Okay.
Most people have experienced that hints are much closer, much better in matching what's going on. So we are actually in the process of enhancing the hinting engine to handle our possible duplicates. And so we hope when that work is completed, we don't have a definite end date. It'll probably take us into next year to do that. That we'll get much better possible matches, even with a little data.
Okay.
So that's the hope.
All right. Well, perfect. Well, I think that wraps up all the questions that we had, right?
Okay, that's terrific. We get more questions, we'll do more.
Yeah, we'll have to do another live video. So thanks for everybody that did tune in with us today. We hope we answered everybody's questions. And then it looks like from a couple of people that did respond, they said that they would watch a periodic Q&A session with you. So
Okay.
we'll definitely look into the possibility. Oh, hold on.
David's giving us another question.
David Farstead says, is there a way to reset the printed status of an ordinance card back to not printed? Over the years, I printed and reprinted and lost cards, so things have become out of sync, and I'd like to reset everything back to a non-printed status.
Yeah, that is a frustrating thing, and I agree with you that that's a bad experience. It's even worse than what Dave's saying. If you go to print a card and then your printer messes up or something, and then the box pops up and says, "Did it print?" and you say no, it doesn't matter. It's still marked as printed.
Oh no.
The reason for that is the following: we don't know what the printer's doing. That's why we ask you the question. And what's really happening is when you go and say print, we call a service on the back end in the server, and it generates a PDF.
Okay.
Well, when it's done generating the PDF, it says, "Oh, I've generated a PDF, therefore it's printed." So it's counting the PDF as the print, even though it shows up in your browser and then you actually click print.
It may not actually.
It may not actually print on the printer, but the system thinks it's printed because it generated a PDF file that was sent to you. Now, the team that works on that, we've been, as you know, working really hard to get switched over to the new system. We did in June.
Right, and that was a pretty big.
It was big, and there's still some leftover work we're doing there, especially in reservations and that area.
Okay.
But my intent is to have that team, once they get through this set of cutover things that we did, to add the capability for the client, the user interface on the browser, to be able to say, "This didn't print."
Okay.
And when you can say it doesn't print, then we'll be able to send a message and say, even though you created a PDF, mark this as not printed.
Okay.
And then that way it will come up again as not printed.
Okay.
So that is a desired feature.
Leave it so that they can print it again.
Well, they can print it again even if it's been printed. I think what he's suggesting is that they all look like they're printed, even though 10 of them didn't, and he doesn't remember which 10 didn't get printed.
Understood. Okay. We had another question come through. So, Colleen Lyman, I'm sure I'm messing that up. I'm sorry. Is there a way to get the names put into my account that were in my mom's account, but shared with the temple before she passes away? Before she passed away, there are still shared with the temple. Also, how long is it taking names in shared files to get the work done?
You can, if you have loved one that or a relative that has passed away and they had names reserved on their reservation list. You can call support and they can release those names. It's a lot of work for them to transfer them to another person, but they can release those names. What I would recommend doing is asking them to see if they can print a list of the PIDs that are on her reservation list.
Okay.
And then ask that they be released. And they can release them. They can unreserve them, which will take them out of the temple list and make them green temples so they can be reserved by anyone.
Okay.
But since you have the PID list, then you can go into those PIDs and re-reserve them and put them on your list. How long is it taking for ordinances to get through the temple file? That all depends, believe it or not, and this is going to be a longer-winded answer than you'd like to hear. First off, there's more women that go than men, so women's ordinances get done quicker. Usually female ordinances, baptisms are done right away because youth do those baptisms pretty quickly, so they're usually just a few days. Women's take approximately a year to year and a half, but the men take about 3 to 4 years to get done.
Interesting.
Just because there's fewer men going to the temple. And another factor in this is that when you submit to the temple, the intent currently is that your names go to your temple. And so the intent there was that people who are doing family history should be able to have their names done in their temple district.
Okay.
Well, if you happen to have a temple district that's very active and submits a lot of names to the temple, then that list gets bigger and bigger and bigger for that temple.
Okay.
So let's say, if I have a temple that people are submitting 100 names to the temple every week, then when I submit a name, I'm going to be 101 in the list.
Right.
And that means that the first 100 have to get done first before it gets to mine.
Okay.
So imagine that with the thousands kind of stuff. And so, but if you're in a temple district where not very many people are doing reservations, and you submit 100, then and there's only 50 in the list or 10 in the list because not very many people are submitting, then those all get done really quickly.
Okay.
So, and by the way, I'm looking into altering that because I believe that we need to make sure that there's a way for all names to eventually get through the temple list. So I'm working with the temple department to come up with a new algorithm where we can let people's names go to their temple district, but at the same time, if there are older names out there in a temple district that's really got lots of names, then we can start pulling from them as well, so that we can equalize that a little bit and help names get through the temple. People have been waiting a long time sometimes for those ordinances to get done.
So what are some of the temple districts? I mean, I'm assuming Utah has some of the largest.
Yeah, actually, I think...
are there other districts that have large
Yeah. For
districts as
example, well, let me tell you, and then also names go to the temple that can handle those kinds of names.
Okay.
So there's a lady who lives in South Salt Lakes area.
Okay.
And all of her ancestors are Chinese.
Wow.
And so she researches these Chinese names, and then she sends them to the temple. Well, when they share with the temple list, Chinese names, if they're of a different language than English, any name goes to the temple that can handle that language.
Okay.
Well, Chinese names are primarily done in Hong Kong. And so those names get sent to Hong Kong. Well, unfortunately for this sister, Hong Kong is self-sufficient, which means all the names they use in the temple are being supplied by local members in their temple district.
Okay.
Which means her names will never be done. She's waited over 5 years and hasn't had a single name done. Oh. That's because there's no way for her to get in front of the list,
I
right?
understand. So hers are always at the end of the list, and the list
always grows enough
gets enough done to complete the ones that are filling every day and not getting to hers.
That's correct.
Okay.
And so for her, she'll be happy with this change if I can get it to happen, which I'm confident we'll be able to do. Don't know when. But then a portion of her names will be taken each time so that it starts resolving those that she sent.
Okay. Awesome. All right.
And
Well,
the only other thing I'll say is don't unshare from the temple and then resharing it, thinking that will jump you ahead in the line. And all that does is when you unshare and then reshare, it just puts you at the back of the line.
okay. So it doesn't push your priority; it actually hurts your
No,
priority.
yeah, people think, well, it must be stuck. I'll unreserve. It's been sitting there for a year or two, and I need to unreserve it and resend it. And all that does is put you in the back of all the, thousands that are in front of you now.
Oh dear. Okay, so lesson learned: don't do that, because we'll just end up at the bottom of the page.
Right.
All right. Okay, well, I guess we'll start doing more frequent videos. We'll figure out a timeline that works best with your crazy schedule of meeting all these people and going to these cool conferences. And yeah, we'll tune in. We'll do a Google form most likely, just so that you guys can dump all your questions in there for us, so that we can kind of have them all in one spot. So
Yeah, and we can get to them. And
go kind of fast so you guys don't have to listen to us ramble forever.
yeah.
But thanks for everybody that came tonight.
Yeah, thanks for everyone for coming. Thanks for coming and seeing me at Roots Tech.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the live broadcasts, and we'll see you next time, I guess, huh?
Yeah, we will.
All right.
We'll
Thank
see
you
next
very
time.
much.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.